ආදරෙන් සුරකින්න. ඉකු ටැබ්ලට්ස් භාවිතා කරන්න.
IWS Aviation.
Very good evening and a very warm welcome to State of Business on our television. I'm Savindri Jayawardena. Let's look at the top stories for the day. Further discussions to develop Colombo preserving the nature. Sri Lankan rupee depreciates to the lowest value. News in detail. The Colombo District Livelihood Development Committee stresses that development activities in the Colombo district should be implemented with priority to protect the deteriorating environmental factors. This was taken into consideration at the Colombo District Livelihood Development Committee meeting held yesterday.
Minister of Wildlife and Forest Conservation C.B. Ratnaik emphasises that an action plan needs to be implemented to protect the changing environmental factors and identify tourist destinations in the face of the emerging urban-based Colombo district. Addressing the committee, Minister further stated that the steps must be taken to protect endangered plants and animals in this country. Plans are already underway to launch programs including the creation of green cities and greenhouses. Minister Ratnaik said that in the process of making the Colombo district a blue-green city, a special action plan should be prepared to identify tourist hotspots and attract tourists to those places. Under this, environmental factors including coastal conservation in the Colombo district, creation of green zones allowing canal, coastal and animal protection will be implemented in a positive manner and steps will be taken to develop those zones as tourist zones. The Colombo District Livelihood Development Committee also focused on Samurdha recipients, home economic empowerment targeting Samurdha recipients, community-based programs and strengthening financial institutions and service facilities and expanding self-employment opportunities. Addressing the gathering, State Minister of Samurdhi, Sehan Semasinghe said that the provision of 70% loan facilities for Samurdhi beneficiaries is already being implemented very successfully and the 72,000 disabled people are already being provided with disability allowance and another 57,000 are on the waiting list. Steps are being taken to provide disability allowance to these people very soon. The Minister of Agriculture, Mahindananda Alutgamage, stated that a sum of 1 billion rupees has been allocated for the organic fertilizer preparation program. The committee also discussed the manufacturing of organic fertilizer locally and increase the amount of 30% within the next year. As another step to protect the environment and to provide relief to the people, the government is already in the process of removing diesel power plants and setting up renewable power plants. It was also revealed that arrangements have been made to run 200 buses on city roads targeting the city of Colombo and 500 small buses targeting rural roads. Attention was also drawn to the implementation of a joint timetable by merging the Road Passenger Transport Authority and the Transport Board.
US-based private equity major Blackstone Group has acquired a 56.5% stake of Piramal Glass Ceylon plc in a 6.2 billion rupees deal yesterday. The Colombo Stock Exchange yesterday recorded its highest daily turnover of 7.4 billion since 1st February 2021, with the 6.2 billion crossing from the Piramal Glass Ceylon plc deal.
Asia Securities Advisors Private Limited acts as the buy-side advisor and the executing stockbroker to the Blackstone Group in its landmark acquisition of Piramal Glass Ceylon plc. In the early hours of trading, the market witnessed a crossing of 536.3 million shares of Piramal Glass Ceylon at 11.60 rupees per share. The acquisition price implies a total enterprise value of 13.9 billion rupees for the target company. Piramal Glass Private Limited entered into a sale and purchase agreement last December with Pristine Glass Private Limited, a company incorporated in India, to sell its entire equity holding in Piramal Glass Ceylon plc in line with Piramal Group's strategy of exiting the glass business. Blackstone Group bought Piramal Glass Ceylon plc's 56.45% through their Indian arm Piramal Glass Private Limited, which is a unit of India's Piramal Group. Sources close to the deal said that Blackstone, which manages $620 billion worth of assets, is excited about its entry into Sri Lanka and the investment in Piramal Glass Ceylon, which is the market leader in the domestic container glass packaging industry apart from exporting to several countries.
In the meantime, today the Sri Lankan rupee depreciated to the lowest value against the US dollar in history.
According to the daily exchange rate chart published by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, the buying price of $1 today is 197 rupees and 62 cents, and the selling price was 202 rupees and 4 cents, marking the first time in history that the selling rate of a US dollar has exceeded 220 rupee mark. Meanwhile, the Bank of Ceylon has reported an exchange rate of 203 rupees and 78 cents, while that of the People's Bank is 204 rupees and 45 cents, and commercial banks is 202 rupees. Sampath Bank's selling price of the US dollar is 202 rupees and 50 cents.
Stay tuned for more news right after this break.
මගේ ආදරණීය වාහනය ආදරෙන් සුරකින්න මම පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ එකෝ ටැබ්ලට්. ඔයාලගේත් වාහනේට බය නැතුව එකෝ ටැබ්ලට් පාවිච්චි කරන්න.
ඔබගේ ආදරණීය වාහනය ආදරෙන් සුරකින්න ඉකු ටැබ්ලට්ස් භාවිතා කරන්න.
මේ සුමුදුගේ තාත්තා. පැහැසරණී
ටීචර් අර මගේ තාත්තා.
කර්මාන්ත ශාලාවේ දහස් ගාණක් රටවටා අපි වගේ අය ලක්ෂ ගාණක් පිටරටත් යවනවා.
ටීචර් අපේ රටේ සල්ලි අපේ රටේම ඉතුරු වෙනවා. විදේශ විනිමයත් ගේනවා.
වරුණ
මේ මගේ තාත්තා.
මල්ටිලැක් හැදෙන රටේ හදන පාට.
ටෙක්ස්ටෝරියම් අංකානෝනාවේ කෙලිනි වීදිය කොළඹ 11.
මේකටත් තියෙනවා 500ක්.
පහෙන් හතරක් මැදිලා.
මටත් දිනුමක් තියෙනවා.
මේ හැම එකටම දිනුමක්.
ඉතිරි වාසනා සම්පත ජාතික සම්පත දරුදිරි සම්පත දිනුම් අවස්ථා වැඩි කළා ජාතික ලුතරයි මණ්ඩලය.
Welcome back after the break. It has been revealed at the Parliamentary Committee on Public Enterprises that a former senior official of the University of Peradeniya has fraudulently obtained 50 million rupees from fixed deposits maintained by the Postgraduate Institute of Science affiliated to the university.
The postgraduate institute affiliated to the University of Peradeniya has closed 14 fixed deposits held at the Peradeniya branch of the People's Bank during the period from 1st January 2009 to 31st December 2016, amounting to 93 million rupees. Out of 93 million, only 37 million rupees has been invested in new fixed deposits, and a sum of 50 million rupees has been fraudulently obtained personally by the senior assistant treasurer. The officer involved in the financial fraud has been suspended and is being investigated by the CID. It was further revealed at the recent meeting of the Committee on Public Enterprises that the University of Peradeniya is conducting a disciplinary inquiry into the fraudsters, and in addition, the Auditor General's Department is imposing surcharges. The COPE Committee drew attention to the reasons for the failure to complete research during the contract period of 4 research projects of the Institute and the non-submission of reports on the physical progress or final progress of 7 projects worth 36 million rupees. In addition, the COPE Committee instructed the Secretary to the Ministry of Education and Higher Education to appoint a subcommittee on the administration of all 9 postgraduate institutions throughout the country and to submit a report within 6 months.
In the meantime, the newly appointed ambassador of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam to Sri Lanka, Tan Trak, presented her credentials to President Gotabaya Rajapaksa at the President's house yesterday.
The President and the Vietnamese ambassador then exchanged views on the development of current bilateral relationships and future cooperation. The ambassador said that Vietnam has given the highest priority to relations with Sri Lanka. The ambassador also thanked Sri Lanka for its support during the difficult times her country was facing. Recalling the long-lasting friendship between Sri Lanka and Vietnam, the president explained to the ambassador the social and economic vision of his government. The president said that raising the income of the rural population was one of the priorities of the government and that the necessary plans had been put in place to achieve these objectives, in which many benefits have accrued to the framing community. President Rajapaksa called on Vietnam to identify investment opportunities in the Sri Lankan economy and take advantage of them. The President also pointed out that trade and tourism between the two countries could be further developed. The Vietnamese ambassador pledged to encourage Vietnamese businessmen to invest in Sri Lanka and to prioritize the development of trade and tourism.
The awarding ceremony of issuing of a media privilege card for journalists was held yesterday at the Sri Lanka Foundation Institute under the patronage of Minister of Media Keheliya Rambukwalla.
Joining the event, Media Minister Keheliya Rambukwalla said that new government is working to reach out to local entrepreneurs with a vision of prosperity. The minister said that this is a step forward for journalists as well as for the development of enterprises in this country. The media privilege card will be available at more than 200 dealerships and will also be available at the CNA Aurudhu Mela 2021 trade fair from April 1st to 11th and the trade fair at the Rupawahini premises from April 8th to 10th.
ජනමාධ්‍ය ශාස්ත්‍රයේ ඉන්න දැනට 6000ක් 7000ක් පමණ අපේ සහෝදර සහෝදරු පිරිසක් ඉන්නවා. ඒ සියලුම අයට මේ කාඩ් පත ලබා දෙන්න, ඒ වගේම අනාගතයේදී මේ කාඩ් පත හරහා ලබා දෙන වට්ටම් පහසු තව දුරටත් වැඩි කරලා ලබා දෙන්න. ඒ ආයතනවත් එක්ක කතා කරමු. ඒ වගේම සියලු ජනමාධ්‍ය සහෝදර සහෝදරයන්ට විශේෂ ණය යෝජනා ක්‍රමයක්, පහසු ණය යෝජනා ක්‍රමයක් එතුමන්ලාට පමණක් නෙවෙයි එතුමන්ලාගේ පවුලේ යම්කිසි කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා නම් ඒ ව්‍යවසාය සම්බන්ධ නිරත වෙලා දියුණු වෙන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන අපි ඒ අයටත් අත දෙන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන ප්‍රාදේශීය සංවර්ධන බැංකුවේ අපේ හිතවතුන් සැදී පැහැදී සිටිනවා.
Stay tuned for more news right after this break.
दिसने रंदना मिहिसारे एक्कला सुवदिन विहिदना युवती ඔබතමා 178 TFM පිරුණු කොස්මෝ හිබිස්කස් මොයිස්චරයිසින් සබන් පැහැකාරී නුඹයි.
වසරේ දැවැන්තම විවාහ මංගල ප්‍රදර්ශනය අප්‍රේල් 2, 3, 4 දෙදින පුරාවට බණ්ඩාරනායක සමන්ත්‍රණ ශාලාවේ සිනමාවෝ බණ්ඩාරනායක පරිශ්‍රයේදී මනාලියන් දැක්ම සහ රූපලාවන්‍ය පිළිබඳ වැඩමුළු රාශියක් දෙදින පුරා විවාහ 2021 සංවිධානය ඉවෙන්ට් මීඩියා සමානුග්‍රහය මාධ්‍ය අනුග්‍රහය තරුණී පුවත්පත.
Welcome back after the break. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a mixed note today. The all-share price index gained 6.16 points to close at 7,121.28 and the S&P SL 20 dropped 31.55 points to close at 2,850.12. The turnover was 7.7 billion rupees and over 45 million shares were traded. Up next are forex rates. And that's all news for today. See you tomorrow with State of Business at the usual time. Until then, take care and good night.
ඔබගේ ආදරණීය වාහනය ආදරයෙන් සුරකින්න ඉකු ටැබ්ලට්ස් භාවිතා කරන්න.